Content over everything. He's one of our main ones. Are you? Is it too loud? Yeah. All right. Done. All right. So this is Gavin McInnes. I've known about him for probably a year from Rebel Media as well, wasn't it? You worked for Rebel Media for a while, did you? Yeah. So he's so everyone knows he's very sarcastic, got a very dry sense of humour like me. And he's a very funny guy, so whatever he says, take with a bit of pinch of salt, because a lot of people at Speaker's Corner don't have a good sense of humour for some reason, I don't know why, so...
Well, you're the only exception. I hate the idea of lying in a big pile of Sikh, but you're the only exception to that.
Oh, cool,
you make
man.
me Sikh.
Ah, thank you. And I make myself Sikh as well sometimes. So that's why I've got no friends at the moment. Well, the thing is, I just want to know why you participated in this particular event. Obviously it's about free speech, and I've known you push free speech quite a lot on your kind of, I watch your YouTube shows and stuff like that, and you tend to say stuff that most people are too scared to say. So is that one of the reasons why you come down?
I think the way you can find out who's in power is you ask who you can offend, and you can say whatever you want about dads. You can kind of say whatever you want about Sikhs. I've never really seen anyone say anything bad about Sikhs.
You do get angry as well though, sometimes.
But if you say something bad about Islam, you're in trouble.
All right.
And you can have a piss Christ. You can have Jesus Christ entombed in urine. You can make the Virgin Mary out of elephant dung. But if you were to draw a cartoon of Muhammad, it's an issue. So I'm here obviously for free speech as a general idea. But I'd be lying if I didn't say that I see Islam as the biggest problem with free speech today.
I know are you from Canada?
I was born in Britain, but I was raised in Canada.
Because one of the issues that I kind of look into Canadian politics quite a lot, because there's a lot of Sikhs there as well. One of the issues about M103, which is it's like a policy they tried to put through, which is almost like an anti-blasphemy law. Are you aware of that particular law?
Yeah, what's that again?
M103.
What does it mean again?
I don't know exactly what the abbreviation means, but it was a kind of like a policy, or it wasn't a law, but it was put through to stop people criticising Islam in particular.
Right. Well, the Canadian Human Rights Commission says you cannot say anything that offends a group, and that includes something that is true.
Right.
Hate facts, I call them.
Yeah.
So we're in a situation now where truth can be offensive, and that is fucking ridiculous. There is no truth existing which I fear or wouldn't want known to the whole world.
Yeah.
I think Jefferson said that. But the big picture here is that communicating openly is culture.
Yeah.
That's what we are. We're talkers.
Yeah.
Animals don't communicate. If an animal gets attacked by an animal, if a lion falls off a cliff and a lion sees it, the lion doesn't go back to the other lions and go, you know that grassy knoll? It's a fucking cliff, dude. My brother just died falling off it. But we can do that as humans. And we say, hey, I've noticed a pattern. Check this out. And that's why we've evolved.
Well, the thing is, one thing I always say is that I would talk to a Nazi.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah,
I do all the time.
I want to hear everyone's views. Now, you can't debunk someone's view or challenge it if you don't hear it.
My experience with Nazis is, I used to talk to them too, an alarmingly high percentage are mentally ill.
Oh, is it? I'd like to meet one actually. I've always wanted to meet a Nazi.
I think there's as many Nazis.
I've met a lot of jihadis, but I haven't met no Nazis yet though, so I'm trying to figure out where I can get them.
I think there's as many as there are albino skateboarders.
Yeah.
So like 150.
Have you ever been to Speaker's Corner though, yourself?
I did as a little kid. My parents would take me here when we lived in London.
All right.
But no, not for centuries.
Have you not been recently?
Not for centuries. No, well, it's funny because I talk to my liberal friends and they go, British liberal friends, and they go, what are you doing? Why are you going there?
Oh, I like your accent.
And they say, it's actually, Speaker's Corner used to be wonderful, and now they just want to tear people down, especially if they're the wrong colour.
Yeah.
And I go, that's not what I heard. I heard it's completely taken over by jihadists.
Yeah, I mean, it's since Tommy Robinson has come, I've said that there's been a bit more of a diverse mix now, because people have started to realise how important Speaker's Corner is. But it was, if you looked around 6 months ago, it was almost like an open-air mosque to a certain degree.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I don't really mind people propagating their religion, but there needs to be a balance between you know, the groups and representation from each section.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I'm the only Sikh, so I need to get more Sikhs down there. So
Yeah, didn't Muslims kill like 1 million Sikhs?
we won't get into that today because I'm hated as it is. So
okay.
let's just because they call me Tommy Robinson at the Speaker's Corner, which is like we get these little nicknames around there. So are you ever going to go to Speaker's Corner? Do you think again?
Sure, yeah, I'll check it out.
How long are you in the UK for?
Well, I'm leaving tonight, but I'm back regularly, and I should do Speaker's Corner. You're right. You know, Speaker's Corner shaped not just Britain, but it shaped the West.
Oh yeah.
Because it created an atmosphere of dissent, and you saw that in America. In fact, I might argue on stage that the reason we had an American Revolution is because the Brits encouraged us to argue with each other.
Yeah. You do argue a lot though. The white man argues a lot, unfortunately. You need to tone it down a bit. But Speaker's Corner, hopefully next time you're down, I'd really appreciate if you can come down and give you a dry wit down there. Anyway, Gavin, it was great to speak to you. I've got 2 things to hold. You should have held one. Here. See? Oh, you like that? A marriage made in heaven, look. Keep that in. Anyway, my Gavin, man, take care.
Content over everything from your melody. Come, man, say it straight. Man, don't listen to BBC. Man, don't listen to I.
So this is Milo Yiannopoulos. Hopefully I've said it right.
Yes.
You're more fabulous in real life than I thought.
Everybody says so.
And you live up to the hype. You are a little bit bitchy, which is good.
Thank you.
I don't like fake people, man. So I'm a bit of a hardwired like that as well. So I just want to ask you, why would you part of this event? And I know you've been in America for a long time, and you've triggered a lot of people down there. So I'm assuming, well, I know you're probably a free speech absolutist like myself. Why did you decide to be a part of this particular event though today?
Well, since Tommy did that thing with Quilliam and